What's up, everyone? Here on Loop, playing as KDA, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different than I've done before. We're actually doing a replay overview so that I can give a little more insight on what I was doing. Funny enough, this was just going to be a warm-up game yesterday. I was kind of playing for fun and talking to a buddy while I was doing it, and then noticed that I kind of got locked in while I was playing and was doing really well, and then at the end of it said, man, I should really go back and use that for footage. So here we are. We're gonna end up taking the left side of Elena here. I saw my teammate, looks like EA'd, playing as 76th. Went to the right side, and I know firsthand what happens if you don't get out into this open area on the left. So I said I would take this left side here. Initially, the plan was to try and get halfway because my assumption was that we were going to be facing a lot more enemy presence than just a couple of Bradleys and some Iglas. I think this guy was planning to just be artillery. I don't know. He really didn't bring much. But what ended up happening is I ended up fighting 3 guys because this guy gets, well, I'll leave it for the video. Anyways, as you can see what I'm doing down here, so we have some Reservists and some Zagradatria. I don't know. I don't speak Russian. Military police, what it boils down to, I believe. So you got MPs and reservists. Plan is here to disperse these guys around the objective up here. I wish I could. It'd be nice if I could click them and see where they're going. I don't know if there's a way to do that, but essentially we're spreading them out along this main line here. You can kind of see this little box that I'm drawing. We initially wanted to spread out through here because my thought, again, was that they were going to bring a bunch of stuff up this main road and try and get into here, but they really didn't. This guy, or maybe it was this guy, they came really light on this side, which was great because I came pretty heavily on that side. We also put some, where are they? There they are, some UAZs with ATGMs, and a couple of Conkers units. Again, I believe one goes to this side and one goes to this side. My thought was, for some reason, whenever I played here, they come across this bridge really heavily. Like, I can't tell you how many fights I've been in off, where is it? Yeah, off in this open area out here. Anyway, so I send my units up first. I let him send the recon, which was great because it actually gave me a little bit of a heads up. We're going to speed up here so we can actually get to where we're meeting the enemy. And I believe his recon unit actually spotted these guys early, so I unloaded early. So you can kind of see real time here. We ended up in a blob in the middle while these guys actually got out into their positions, which is great. And then from here it's just micromanaging units to be able to take care of what we encountered. So, you know, at the time I didn't know how much more they had around. But from what I can see, it was just these two. So we wanted to dispatch this Bradley fairly quickly and get after this command unit. And the reservists do a great job with that RPG. And then we get to have RPG 7s take out the Bradleys. So that's splash 2 Bradleys, and we're already working on their leader.
Feind
And
vernichtet.
again, 113 goes down quick. And at that point, as you can see, they really didn't have much left, and we have their command unit surrounded. From there, we start spreading out. I recognized fairly quickly that they didn't have anything else other than what looks like a recon unit, and this guy, a genius, rushed a couple of units over here to hold this area, which ended up working out great because I'm pretty sure he picks off more than a few guys. One of the things that I think I lost in the initial push was I had a couple of Igla units, and I think one of them died right off the bat, so we called in another one there. A few of them, and the Buck, which actually I believe ends up being our hero unit at the end of the game. I think the Buck shot down like 5 planes on its own or something like that. As you can see here, you know, this is not the neutral view, but they left a Rangers helicopter just chilling there for a while. Oh, one thing I haven't talked about yet either, and you'll see here in a second, is this guy with his MLRS tries to arty me the whole game, and I don't think he hit a single unit. And our 76 guy, I think he must have quit or something, because he let these guys run right through. And because I was talking to my buddy and only playing, you know, just kind of warm up and having fun, I was not paying attention to what was going on back here. I was pretty hyper focused on managing what I had going on here. So they bring up a Pivads. I don't know why. We didn't have any air, and we hadn't threatened any air. That's their Bradley, but our Conquerors is already on it. Which this ended up being just a great spot to have that Conquerors. You can kind of see from here, and I didn't recognize it then. I mean, it can see all the way to right coming across the bridge. Ooh, we missed a bombing run with that new thermobaric Su-24. Such a cool plane. They're running Harriers today. I'm surprised the Buck didn't shoot that down. This guy is just playing a dangerous game. And I think by the time I recognized that we actually didn't have a command unit in here, they brought one up. But yeah, this whole time they're just sniping everything he was bringing in, because this guy was not paying attention to either of these bridges, which you just can't do on this. And there, oh yeah, I did bring my command unit up right there. So from that point, we just end up getting into a bunch of skirmishes. You can tell he's trying to like rush units in to fight me. I'm surprised that he could see that. I stupidly left these two units back and had the reservists in a fight against Rangers, which is never going to go well. They're double vet. And these guys are out of range, I believe, or they can't see him because they're in the building, it looks like. You can see we're still winning. Like I said, the guys on my left were doing a great job. They had them pushed back all the way to their zone on the close side, and we're not giving up any ground. And they had set up to where they were wiping out anything that came in and tried to get across. Again, this guy was not doing great, and retrospectively, I probably could have done a better job of filling this middle and giving him some support. But I really didn't know where he was or what he was doing. The right side is a stalemate, and it was most of the game. I think towards the end they started to push, but I think that was hewed on by these guys. What unit is that? Oh, Nona's. So we got F4s and F-16s coming in. I think it was one of the friendly players' jets. And, of course, we have MiG-31s that get... Ooh, did he get it? He did. Here, this Conquerors did not end up doing very much. Took out a 113, or excuse me, took out a Bradley. Here's what I was talking about. So here's their first Genius MLRS hit, which ends up hitting all in here where I don't have any units, and then I just pulled those guys out and moved them up, and lo and behold, he didn't hit anything. We have supply showing up to try and reinforce these units and reload this Conquerors. I think at one point I tried to move that up, and I just was like, nah, that's a good spot. If he's going to keep pushing across, I can keep picking stuff off. The big thing for me here is that there's no zone for them on that side. So there's really no reason for me to try and push any further. What ends up happening is when you push across into a zone like this, you know, yeah, they have their supply here and they're calling units in here, but I'm going to get stretched thin and then be sending reinforcements across the entire map to try and fight a battle over land that I don't even need to hold. And it doesn't benefit me in any way. Just needed to hold this and not let them take any ground, not let them get in here. And again, I didn't realize how dire the situation was over here because I was hyper focusing on this and continuing to check in on my left side over here. And it was my first game of the day. It was at like 7 o'clock in the morning, so I was also half awake. Had this guy said something to me, I would have been sending him more units, but it's clear he's also not really spending any money. And anything he was calling in was getting blown up in his spawn because they left an open bridge for them to run whatever they had across. I think it's hilarious that they have F-16s going after like FPV drones. I think one thing maybe they should change on those FPV drones is having them be like maybe a little lower to the ground to where they could take ground fire but not necessarily be able to be locked onto by F-16s. I think a balancing thing. They don't carry any weapons, so I feel like they should be better than they are. Make it so that Iglas and vehicles with machine guns can shoot them down, but there's no reason for an F-16 to be called in to take that out. Let's see, what was that? Oh, it looks like they're telling them to attack over here. I don't know why. Is that... What team is that? Oh, it's a 76 guy. Yeah, I mean, again, this is where they probably could have pushed up over to here in this spot to hold that bridge while the rest of the main force advanced to take these out. These little BTRRD robots are really cool. Hidden in the trees, wiping out tanks. Who's Troika playing as? 79th, that's a good unit, I really like using them. Check back in on my guys. As you can see, we pushed up. We're holding the bridge. At this point, I didn't know this was coming, but it's something that'll happen in a little while. We start solidifying our forces here, and that's when I noticed this Iltis and that everything over here was open. So you'll see I start to call in some units to fill in this. Oh, so when I'm playing as myself, I can see what I'm calling in. That's good to know. I call in some units to reinforce that, so we've got some more reservists coming to fill in that middle area, as well as some munition trucks to come in and reinforce our guys. One of the cool things with the reservists is they can come in these SPWs, and they're just little lightly armored trucks that have a 50 cal mounted on top, or excuse me, a 7.62 mounted on top, but they do work against infantry by themselves. So they work as a really good infantry support vehicle, and they're cheap. I mean, you're getting reservist unit with, where are they? Here we go. You get a reservist unit with 7 AKs and 2 PKMs and RPGs for 65 points, I think. I can't pull it down right now, but I think this unit in total is 65 or 70 points. And 25 or 30 of that is the cost of these SPWs. You could put those on a line and an infantry advance isn't going to do anything to them. Here things kind of suck because I did not see these right off the bat, and then they came up and started picking off vehicles. So one of these takes out a T-62, and then I immediately grabbed these Strelas and started moving them up. I was not anticipating the helicopter ATGMs coming up. So I think they get 2 of these before one of these guys have them up, gets up close enough to pop one.
Feind im Vorfeld, bereit machen.
And again, I should have done way more with what was right here. I just was concerned with refilling what they had, reinforcing what I had. And, oh, that's my MiG-23 right there. So I brought him in initially to wipe one out, and then I think this Strela gets close and wipes the other one. Let's see, what is he going to do? Behind the hood, let him do his thing. So actually, he gets both of them. Pretty cool. Love the MiGs. I think Cold War era Soviet planes are some of the coolest planes ever made. I think, yeah, that Conqueror goes down to that M60, but he is almost wiped out by it. He's seen better days. Oh, cool. Again, we see that unit peeking through, so I'm recognizing that we're going to have a fight on our hands over here. This Yade guy is almost completely gone and is reinforcing back to here. And I think towards the end of the game, even I start bringing units up this line to try and fill in this spot. We'll fast forward a little bit because there's not much going on our side right now. You can see the pivads that they've got there. We start getting into this Panzer Grenadier fight. That's wipe out Estrella, and then we bring up our new units, and the T-62 takes care of the rest. I didn't see this Bradley or realize that that weird little spot could see across. So I believe... Oh no, he survives. Again, our MLRS guy, I think he manages to get one thing, that reservist unit, and maybe that truck, but again, really ineffective with the MLRS units. I think this Bradley is a minor annoyance for a little while, but again, so Leopard 2A3 comes up. Reservists aren't doing their job, and I believe this was yesterday, so I don't remember for sure. I'm pretty positive we called in a AT plane and wiped that out. There we go. Bradley's dispatched, just microing this reservist unit back and forth between the buildings so that he can't see him until he gets in close enough. Here you can see they're trying to bring some Rangers across in Blackhawks. Really close flying there. Those guys are bold. Oh, apparently they're going through each other. So that happens, and I have to react to that. Here's the AT unit. I missed it getting called in, but it does wipe out that Leopard that was over here. Let's see if I can find the... Is this? No, that's an SPW. It was in here somewhere. Maybe one of these. That's a helo. That's a helo. I don't know where it went, but we called it in and wiped... No, it's still right there. We wiped it out with something. I don't know. Anyways, Blackhawks came over, set down their guys, so we've got Rangers in here moving on our flank, and it's honestly an undefended flank. The one nice thing is that it didn't really matter because I already had these Mi-24s. Oh, good. And the Conquerors units half health it. Mi-24s dispatched the Rangers quick. They never even got to get in a fight. There's our MiG-23. I called that in just so that he could be protection for these two Mi-24s. I did not want them calling in F-16s or Harriers or something and knocking these out. They were my defense on this side. I think we lost sight of one, so we may bring this MI. There it is. And there's the F-16, which I believe we wipe out. Yeah, the buck hits it, and then I think we mop it up with something. That T-8 actually mopped it up. Nice. Mi-24 is good work with their mounted guns, and then we send these after the Blackhawks. I forget what gun that is. Yeah, they're 30mm, takes out the Blackhawk. I think one gets away, and we hunt down the rest. I think there's still... I think we were looking to see if there were more units. As you can see, we're a +6 right now. These guys have managed taking this entire thing. We've got the red corner going over here. This guy's finally starting to move his units up, but of course let them fill this all in. The nice thing is that I'd created this line here, and what happens is they just can't do anything about it at the point that they recognize what I've built, and these guys are completely pinned. This is finally all filled in. They're holding the line here. Still holding the line on the right side. I made a video 2 days ago, 3 days ago about holding a flank. Different map. The guy was like, why are you even fighting over there? There's nothing there. This is a prime example. See how much of a commitment they've made to this area with no zone? They're not going to take a zone here. This zone is not even being threatened. These guys are barely pushing into a spot where, yes, they're protecting ahead of this zone, but massive commitment of forces to these areas, and we're looking at 2 points that they're worried about, while we have taken over the rest of the map, and I am splitting a 3-point zone with them. You'll see here, here's that Leopard, their pivads. We're going to micromanage these reservists and wipe out pretty much this entire push. 2 Mi-24s are going to roll up. The Conquerors are taking out any armored vehicles. These guys are shooting literally across this entire plane. Because as you can see, this is a whole flat area, and it drops down on either side. Here and here. And their push is just instantly defeated. The second they start pushing up, we roll up T-62s to wipe out their units. This is some of my units crossing the bridge right here to create a diversion from their main attack. Luckily, this guy had created a base of fire there, and then we just walk these guys up. Reservists. Oh yeah, and I forgot about that. Su-24 comes in, drops a laser-guided bomb. MiG-31s are mopping up air. Su-17's here to wipe out tanks, and an MLRS. That was a 300-point loss for that guy. And as you can see, Mi-24s are doing their job. Those 30 cals just demolished this, and everything they brought in is getting killed by what was essentially 2 reservist units, another reservist unit that doesn't have an ATGM, and a tank and a couple of Conquerors. I mean, I think we had like 6 or 7 units total in this little stretch here, and then That border guy actually, yeah, he was on it with the air. We'll just watch a few minutes of bombing runs. And this is what it's like to have good teammates. He can see that I'm holding this line. If you go back to just me, right? This is what my team is seeing. He can see that I've got a line here. They can't really see much else, but they know there's stuff in here because they've been watching us fight it. And then we win. All in all, I really didn't have to do a whole lot in that to help us secure the victory. I ended up with the most conquest points. I had 3,000 kills to only 700 losses. So you look at that, I wasn't the most kills. I was third. But I also wasn't losing a ton of units, and I forced a diversion from their ability to bring in units in that center section. And that guy wasn't able to do anything the whole game. Yade could have done a better job on that right side, but at the end, he got it together. He cleared up what was essentially our only weak point in that battle. And we still were able to get the win. T-62 did great. Mi-24s, as you can see, were doing their job. Reservists, almost all the reservists, except for maybe that last one. One guy, 65 points. You're looking at over 100 points of stuff there, right? Conquers, 2 martyrs. Those are expensive. Reservists, 120 point Bradley in the transport. They doubled what they were worth. Buck does a great job. I think this is one of the best AA sites in the game. It's one of my favorites. Again, here's this one military police unit. Took out Rangers and a mech rifles unit. And I think this is a 10-man mech rifle unit. Reservists, again, Bradley, 113, command unit. Conquers, 2 Bradleys, a Pivads. This one SPW truck. This is a transport. 2 Stinger units. This T-62 is doing work. Love to see that. And I want to say maybe he was... No. It was this Mi-24. Command unit, Leopard 2A3. Anyways, guys, this is just me doing a quick replay, rewatch, whatever you want to call it, of a round I played yesterday on Loop, playing as KDA. As you can see, we fought mainly against 8th Infantry, which is supposed to be one of the best units in the game. 1v3, 1v4, I think, at one point. You got Red, that guy. I think we fought one other guy a few times, too, in the plains. 1v3, and we're holding our own with very, very little commitment to units. Just a lot of resupply and management. And these aren't the crack forces of some of the other ones that you can play. I'm not putting Spetsnaz out there. I'm not using the East German, Panzerjägers or whatever they are. Just the higher class special forces units do great, but you can play well even with reservists if you know how to use them. And you just have to be in there on the micros. That's the big thing. Like you saw, it might have even been this unit right here in the middle, bouncing them back and forth into that building until the Bradley got close enough that we could throw them into the building, launch a rocket, and blow up a 120-point Bradley. So that's been a little bit more insight into my strategy, how I think. I am going to work on learning some of the hotkeys. I saw the comment. I don't know. It's always just been easier for me to go and click exactly what I'm doing. But I'll give it a try. I'm always willing to learn and grow. If there's any units that you guys want me to try out, if you guys have decks you want me to play, if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, let me know in the comments. And thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Thank you for the support. And I will see you on the next one.